I'm here with Nick Sanders. He runs a team here at Qualifier. They do a lot of business. So when you get a new rep, what's it like training them when you have someone that's new, maybe they don't have sales experience? What are the things that are most important to you? Because your team does millions per month. So I know I'm sure you have a way that you do it, your way.
Yeah, so I like to kind of focus on the product itself and kind of ignore sales. Like sales is something that they're going to develop after learning the rebuttals and whatnot. But I think the most important part that people skip over is the product itself. Like these guys can't talk about it, they can't rebuttal against anything, they can't sound like a consultant if they don't know what they're selling. Like that can be SBA, line of credit, term loan, whatever you want to call it, right? Or the MCA in general. But if they don't know the products or have a vague idea of what they're selling, then it's the wrong direction from the beginning.
Yeah, like where it's all product knowledge. Where they sound like when you're talking to a rep where there shouldn't be one question that they can ask you that you don't know the answer for.
Right. And of course when they're new there's going to be that period to where they're stuttering, and stuff like that. So I always say, your first week is where you're getting out the marbles, right? But I feel like the most important thing is having that product knowledge, and the learning curve is going to be much, much shorter.
Okay. What would you say about closing? Some of the shops that I work with, it's all different. Some where the reps open and close their own deals, and some where the owner, like this one shop I work with, there's 35 reps, and the owner closes every deal, and it's crazy to see that.
That's nuts.
So, like, how do you do it? What do you like doing? What's your play?
I like having some structure. So when I actually look at the analytics and the numbers, I can track it, right? If my reps are just closing all of the deals and I'm just some type of admin doing on the back end work, A, I'm gonna be bored, but B, I'm gonna have to blame them, or there's a lot of different variables I have to focus on. I like having organization, right? I feel like if I were to just have them close their own deals, I can't track anything. It's just kind of up in the air. And the last thing I want to do is blame them for a deal dying. I want a lot of the blame to fall on myself so I could fix it, right? And I'm obviously more experienced. So they obviously open the deals, and then once it gets an offer or we get the scrub, we look at it together and figure out whether they can call it. Like if it's sub 20K, sub 25K, then it's not worth my time, because I want to focus on the 50K and up. But yeah, that's the structure I have, and it also gives them more time to open more deals. I feel like a big thing within this industry is a lot of people, they'll have a pipeline of 5 or maybe 7 people, and that's it.
Yeah.
You want to constantly grow it and grow it and grow it. And if you're chasing, the deals you have working, you're not going to do that.
Okay. So you're kind of saying so if it's, let's say, a 10, a 15, a 20, 25K deal and under, you'll let them kind of cut their teeth on those deals to learn.
Yeah, and they'll also learn how the back end of the deal works, like closing it, which will also help them open the deal.
Okay.
Having that experience. I think that structure is best for me. And eventually when they are closing those 25 or 30K deals, they can then take on more responsibility. Like Danny, he works for me right now. I let him close whatever he wants because he's been in the game for a while, and he has his, I guess you could say, subdivision onto my team of I think it's 2 people now. So yeah, I give him a lot more responsibility because he's obviously moved up.
And that's obviously that's rare, right? Where you can have someone kind of do whatever they want. That's like what, one out of 20 people?
Yeah, it takes a lot of trust, and then there's also a lot of or I think it happened maybe a few times this week where, I was needed in those deals, and I'm happy to hear that. Even though, Danny's experience, I'm not going to get mad at him, say, Danny, you've been doing this for a while, you shouldn't need me. I think a lot of deals do need a second, maybe third, maybe even fourth voice. I find myself to close a deal, even following up, hitting the merchant from 4 or 5 different numbers.
What would you say are some good indicators that someone is going to do well in this business?
Coachability. Funny enough, football players are really well in this industry.
Why is that?
I don't know, because they all their life, through that football career, whatever you want to call it, or sports in general, they're able to, or they've been accustomed to learning from somebody else, listening, implementing the process. I'd say coachability is the biggest thing, because if you can't drop your ego and learn from somebody else, you're not going to do well. And work ethic is huge. I mean, I personally come from, like at 17, I started at Call for Health, which was insurance.
Okay.
And it was just a 6-hour-a-day job. It really wasn't much. And I wanted to do more. Now with this, you know, I find myself staying here like 12, 14, even 16 hours a day. It's kind of crazy, but I wouldn't rather it any other way. And I think that's why we've been growing and growing and growing. I feel from like an opener standpoint or somebody just starting out, if you have that same look on things, that this is a skill, something you have to dedicate a portion of your life to or your entire life to, then you'll do extremely well. But if you treat it as a 9 to 5, 9 to 4, you come in, you go through the motions, it's not going to work.
Look, it's a career. Jeremy Miner talks about that. Like, people go to school for years to become a doctor or a lawyer. It's like, it's no different. Okay, then to kind of wrap up, what would you say to somebody that's in sales right now, whether maybe in MCA or any type of sales, and they're having a slow, let's say they're having a slow month. Let's say they haven't really done any deals the last couple of weeks. They come to you and say, Nick, I'm really struggling right now. I'm really stressed out. I'm not getting any deals in. You're my team leader. What would you say?
I'd say look at what you've done in the past, 7 to 14 days, to look at what the next 7 to 14 days is going to look like. One of the guys I work with, Ben, he says it best, is last month's efforts is going to show in next month, right? So like the calls you made, the work you put in, is going to show in the next month, right? That's when you have the renewals. That's when your pipeline starts, popping off. I find a lot, I'll see 5 million, 6 million in our pipeline, and I'm like, what's going on? Why? And I'll start finding myself, like, what am I doing wrong, right? But eventually that pipeline does burst. So you just have to keep putting in the reps, and doing the right things, learning, getting 1% better every single day, and doing the right things. And you're going to have that 1 week where you're going to fund 5 units alone for $500K. But at the end of the day, it's sales. So there's going to be heaps and valleys. And you have to expect it.
Solid. Nick Sanders, thanks so much.